So I'm Dr. Chris King, and this is just going to be a little visual of the program that I'm doing, or actually in how fructose, half of sugar, causes disease. So we'll start out, and this will be the intestine just past the stomach. So when we eat sugar, everybody thinks again that it's just one molecule, it's just sugar, but it's not. It's two. It's fructose, which is the red because it's foul and bad, and glucose, which is green because it's good. So when we eat them, they split apart, and the glucose goes through a very specific doorway in the intestine, and it goes into a cell, and inside the cell, it makes energy, ATP energy, which is what we use to run every process in our body. So the brain uses that energy, and our liver and our muscles, everything uses the energy that glucose makes. So it's very, very good and necessary. And again, starches are 100% glucose, so potatoes and white rice and pasta all are just glucose, and so we need them. But fructose is different, and it goes in the intestine. It enters through a totally different doorway that can only take fructose through it. And it goes into cells, often the same cells. And when it's in there, it consumes a ton of energy instead of makes it like glucose does. And that leads to uric acid inside the cell. And uric acid causes lots of oxidants, toxic, oxygen-free radicals to be produced. And these oxidants overwhelm the antioxidant defenses of the cell, and there are a lot left, and then they go on to damage the cell, and they can destroy the cell, and they even can damage the DNA in the cell. And so any organs that can take fructose from sugar up out of the gut and out of the bloodstream get damaged. And those organs are the liver and the kidneys and the fat cells and the blood vessels and the brain. And so that's why fructose, because it goes so many places, can cause so many different types of disease. So that's why fructose is the number one cause of all the greatest killers of modern man. So obesity and diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, liver disease, and then also gout. So that's why we have to remove sugar from our diets, to get the fructose out of them.
Now, what about fruit?
Whole fruit is fine, and although it does contain sugar, so most whole fruit has half fructose and half glucose, but it's contained in fiber. And so when you eat it, it takes a long time to digest. It empties out of the stomach very slowly, and so it's absorbed very slowly, so it doesn't cause much uric acid to be formed at all. And so it makes very few oxidants, and we can defend against those. So whole fruit is good for you, but fruit juice is as toxic as a regular Coke. And that's because when you squeeze it, you take out all the sugary juice, you absorb it really quickly because it's fluid, and it sends your uric acid sky high and the oxidants sky high. And so Coca-Cola is 50-50 glucose fructose. Apple juice is actually, apples are 66% fructose. So apple juice is actually 30% worse for you than Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola is toxic. So pretty much the single worst thing you can put in your body besides a poison is apple juice. And it's because sugar is a slow poison. But if it's in liquid form, it's a faster poison. So Coca-Cola is toxic, apple juice is even more toxic.
So you can eat apples, fine, no worries.
You can eat apples.
Apples are great for you to
Whole
eat.
apples are great.
Whole apples. And you could you put it into crunch it up? No, you can't turn it into
You can blend it up.
You can blend it up,
Yep.
but just don't juice it.
Yep, just don't juice it. So I tell people, eat your fruit, don't drink your fruit.